Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio. We proudly provide world-class education, hope, and inspiration. I'm our host today, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, for A Woman's Prerogative. Our show today is all about how we maintain our youthfulness as women as we are going through the aging process, which people are always complaining, I'm getting so much older. Well, what's the alternative, right? So how can we age gracefully and spiritually and in ways that we can help other women across the world? I'm not alone on this show. I'm joined by Caroline.heward. Let's welcome her. She's the Harley Street stress expert. Hello, good to see you.
It's always good to see you, Dr. Jacalyn, especially on a Monday.
Yes, it's definitely a pleasure to be doing this show. And for friends who are joining us for the first time, Caroline also hosts this show. So sometimes I'm hosting, sometimes she's hosting. You never know which host you're going to get. And we're also joined by one of our phenomenal panelists. Her name is Dr. Justina MUTALE, and she's African Woman of the Year, best-selling author and international keynote speaker. Let's welcome her to the program. Hello.
Hi, Dr. Jacalyn. Hi, Caroline. And hello to all the viewers.
Hello, hello. So nice to have both of you here today. And I know you both have a lot going on. You're out there changing the world. Before we get to our topic, I'd like to have each of you just share a little bit about the work that you're doing and maybe something exciting that's coming up for you that you want to share with our viewers. Let's start with you, Caroline.
Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. My name is Caroline.heward, and I'm known as the Harley Street stress expert. I help people bust their stress, and I do that through identifying the root cause of what's causing repeating patterns of how they experience stress, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, behavioral, whether they're complaining about a relationship, a physical pain, or whether they're feeling anxious or depressed or feeling that they can't cope with a situation, a family member, a relationship, a friendship. What's new for me is that I've actually been in the process of applying to work with other organizations for coaching. And I'm in the process of applying for other organizational coaching. And what's really fascinating for me, the world of online has opened up a whole spectrum of places that I never even considered that I would be able to work. And so being online, especially through LinkedIn, opportunities are coming my way that I hadn't seen previously. So my tip for you is to stay on LinkedIn and be connecting with people, because you never know where that connection will lead you to.
Connection. I love that. Thank you for sharing, especially about your experience. Dr. Justina MUTALE, what can you share with our audience about the value you're bringing and maybe some special event that might be coming up?
Okay, I'm a gender advocate, and also I'm the author of The Art of Iconic Leadership, Power Secrets of Female World Leaders. This is a book in which I chronicle the power secrets of phenomenal and iconic female world leaders and bring out those necessary traits that the leaders of the 21st century need to have in order to be able to lead a population that has gone through so much trauma. I run my own organization, the Justina MUTALE Foundation. I'm also the co-founder and convener of the World Summit on Women and Girls. It's all to do with inspiring and creating future female world leaders. And the World Leaders, the World Summit on Women and Girls will be held at the Houses of Parliament in London on the 7th of November. That is to commemorate the United Nations International Day of the Girl under the theme Leveraging Girls' Voices for Sustainable Development. I do a lot of other things. You can find me on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Twitter, on all the social media platforms. I am at justinamutale.com. And you could also Google me to learn about some of my work. I can't go through all of it right now. Just finally, I am the president or chairperson of the United Kingdom's National Alliance of Women's Organizations. This is a coalition of over 100 organizations led by women advocating for gender equality and the empowerment of women, spread all over the United Kingdom's 4 nations, which is England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Thank you.
Thank you. My goodness. Woo! There's a lot going on. Very exciting. And our topic today is one that is more and more important because people are living longer and finding ways to bring value. It used to be you got to be a certain age, you retired, and then you played golf or went, whatever it is that people do in certain parts of the world, obviously. So now that people are living longer and having the opportunity to give back or to maybe find a different career, or maybe something that you were passionate about and turn it into a business. How can we keep our spirits high? How can we keep that youthfulness, that childlike wonder, that playfulness inside of our hearts so that we can continue to do the work that we're doing? So I'm going to start with our resident therapist, Caroline. What does the topic bring up for you personally?
Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. For me, the topic brings up the fact that, and I want to say this, it's a bit cliche, the new 40 is 40 is the new 30, 50 is the new 30, and 60 is the new 30. And what it is it's almost like we are now at a time in our lives and globally that we are expected to do more and feel more. And I certainly thought that when I was 16, I thought 25 was old. And when I got to 25, I thought that it was still young. I didn't change my perspective. And as I'm now 60, I don't feel old. So I'm not quite sure when I'm going to wear that tag. So coming to answer the question, because a lot of people are feeling like I've been describing, and it's commonly said that, the new 60 is the new 30 or 40. And I think what it is it's a state of mind and a state of being. And I think that when I was younger, my mum was 21 years older, that felt like it was really old. But I don't feel that we are like that today. And I do believe it's a state of being. It's a state of what you do in terms of how you think and how you be. And I've been a lifelong student and a lifelong learner. And my mum always said to me, but way back when I was probably about 40, she said, I don't think that you will ever stop studying. And that was at 40. So 20 years on, I'm still studying. And she was right. My mum is very insightful. And I never thought that that was possible. And I feel that that creates a youthfulness in me, that ever perpetuating student of life. And it's also about moving forward in changing with the times. I've really moved with the times. I'm online now, and 20 years ago I wouldn't have been doing anything like this. So I feel that keeping me youthful has moved me to roll with the times and to change what I'm doing and to be current and to be in the moment of what's going on. And so I feel that for me, it's not only about state of mind, it's a state of being, which means that I live in a state of meditation, which keeps me very youthful, and it de-ages me. I promise you, and if you want to know the secret, just ask me.
Very good, Caroline. I love all of your energy and your passion. And when it comes to state of mind and state of being, one thing I just want to throw out there, because this happened to somebody I know and love very much, my mother who passed away, but she was an avid tennis player and she was playing on a team until she was 80. And she was playing doubles against people in their 40s and 50s. And at some point, someone said to her, you're too old to be doing this. You should hang up your racket. And it really kind of broke her inside, because that was such an important thing for her. And then she went downhill. So my reason of bringing that up is sometimes people will give us unsolicited feedback or information about what we're doing. I've been told you're 61. Why is your hair so long? Your hair should be short. People just throw out these kind of comments, and some people really take it to heart. And then they think, okay, I'm a certain age, so I should look a certain way. I should act a certain way. Dr. Justina, what are your thoughts about people sharing feedback about what we love that word, should be doing at a certain age? How do you handle it?
I think they should mind their own business. I remember when I was about 28 or somewhere there, I was fairly new in London, and I was renting this house, and one day the landlord was the son of the owner of the house. And he came in one day and said, "Oh, I have to sell the house because I need to pay for my mother in the old people's home." And I asked him, "How old is your mom?" And she said, "She's 60." So now I wonder, now that I'm past 60, I don't feel like I would belong to an old people's home. So that kept coming to mind, and this comes to mind now, thinking how that lady was feeling, that the son had taken her into an old people's home at just the tender age of 60, and you had to sell her house so that he could pay for her upkeep in the old people's home. So it's just I think perceptions, like Caroline said, when she was young and her mother was only 21, she thought her mother was very old. And also herself, when she was 16, she thought that people that were 25 were very old. We all think that way as we go through life. A certain age, for example, my father died when he was only 48, and he was an old man to me. I was only 17, so in my eyes he was an old man. But now I've lived so much longer than him. He would be a almost like a child to me. So it's just about perceptions, and also, like Caroline said, I think we live in a world of wonder, and there's no person who has ever lived in this world who has learned everything about the world. So if we look at the wonder of the world and learn new things every day, read a lot. I also, like Caroline, believe in lifelong learning. I think it keeps your mind agile and alert, and also you get to learn new things and move with the times, just like Caroline said. And I don't know whether it was on this program or another program where somebody said women never grow above 21 years old, and men never grow above 6 years old. So although the years are going by, it's what you feel inside, and also it's about your mindset and your outlook to life. Do you will feel old if you think you've lived old enough and almost done everything in the world? But like with everybody, if you have a PhD, you know that it would be in one specific subject. You'd need to do so many PhDs in order to be an expert at everything in the world. And then you could say, yes, I have lived long enough, and yes, I am old now, and yes, I should. And there was a guy, an artist, I've just forgotten his name, who said that ordinary people do not know how long it takes to learn. That he was 80 then. He said, I am 80 and I am still learning. And in one of my philosophy classes, we had this lady that was 92 years old, and she asked, what is the meaning of life? And she had already lived for 92 years. So nobody leaves this world knowing everything. And at every stage in our lives, we are learning something new. And I think that is why when you go, they would say, rest in peace, because as long as you are alive and as long as the sun shall rise and set, there's always a new day and there's always something new to learn. You learn new things from babies, you learn new things from toddlers, from young adults, from teenagers, from everybody around you, including pets. So that way, that is how you keep you keep yourself alive and fully in the moment and fully within this life.
I love what you shared. So many great points there. And it reminds me of a show that we have, Coexistence and Sustainability, because we can learn from all animals, right? We can, even the trees, they've been around for so long and they're weathering the storms and their roots are deep. And it's just fascinating if you have that kind of open mind and that you're interested in learning what else is out there. And to your point, Dr. Justina, about the PhDs, we know how long that takes to get. So if that's just one and you forget it. I mean, we'd be in school forever. So when someone does share something that is negative, and maybe it's even about themselves, I feel so old, I just feel, so they are not feeling good about themselves and they're bringing that energy into your circle, into your world. What do you do? How do you embrace it, or how do you deflect it, or how do you coach the other person? Caroline, what are your thoughts?
I've actually had such an incident very recently where the person I was talking to said that they have now retired, and their whole existence was, they were preparing for their retirement, they were preparing for their old age, and they kept saying old. And I remember turning around to them and saying, well, I'm 60. And they says, well, you've still got a few years left, but I'm old. And there was this, I thought, well, in 5 years' time, am I going to feel like that? Am I going to feel old? And there was the word retirement. It seemed to have an energy of its own in terms of, I'm finished. I'm, surplus to requirements now. I'm not of good standing in terms of work. And that felt very heavy. And I shared with him, it would be good for you to look at what you could do as a hobby, what you could do to fill your time so that you felt worthy. Because when people are talking about feeling old and retired, it's like they're past their sell-by date. And so I do feel that there is a tag, sort of an unnecessary tag on the fact that when you are reaching retirement age, that you are old, past it, and useless to society. And that doesn't feel good. And so I would listen compassionately to what they had to say and then send it back to them with options of different ways of looking at it, that they can do all the things that they didn't have time to do. So they'll be too busy to actually feel that they're not living and existing. They're living now and doing the things that they really wanted to do that they didn't have time to do.
Thank you, Caroline. It sounds like what you're talking about is having a purpose, having
Yes.
a goal that's bigger than you, that's giving back or lifting up. What are your thoughts, Dr. Justina?
Yeah, we had a lady that we used to work with here in the UK. She was discovered as a model at the age of 96. She was one of the models for Dove, the Dove soap. And she died at 113. And as old as I remember at one of our World Summit on Women and Girls, she was the oldest speaker. At that time, she was only 107. So our youngest speaker was 7 years old and our oldest was 107. But she lived on to up to 113. And I think up to about 112, she was still doing her speaking engagements. There's also another lady in the Wakanda movie. I think she was discovered at 80 or 90 years old or somewhere there. And then she suddenly overnight became a superstar. So it just depends on someone's outlook to life. I've also seen some of my own friends that we went to school with, some that look so much older than perhaps I look, but we are the same age, and others that look much younger. So it just depends on your outlook to life, what is going on in your head, and what is it, are you living a stress-free life, or are you stressing yourself? As Caroline said about this person who lived her life waiting for retirement, and instead of living life every day as it comes, and taking things as they are. I've got something here that the World Health Organization posted one day. It's called "How Old Are You?" In fact, the title says 65 years old is still young. And it said the World Health Organization had declared that 65 years old is still considered young. Before, based on the friendly blah, 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 blah. Okay, so here and then they have a new research according to average health quality and life expectancy, and have defined a new criterion that divides human age as follows. So 0 to 17 years old is now considered underage. 18 to 65 years old is considered youth and young people. 66 to 79 years old is considered middle age. 80 to 99 years old is considered elderly or senior. 100 years old plus is considered long-lived elderly. So because people are living longer, and also we are continuing, for example, now the retirement age is in the UK is up to 67 for women, and I think it's 70 for men. So we are working longer. It's because we have realized that even at 60, somebody can still be contribute to the world, and can still be very active, and can still work or continue with the work that they have been doing. Because previously, I remember when I arrived in the UK, when I started working at the Commonwealth Secretariat, the retirement age was 60. During my father's time, I think the retirement age was like 55. So after 55, if you retire and then you don't, what do you do for the rest of your life? Especially that now people are living up to 100. What do you do for the next 45 to 50 to 55 years old? And like if you were to live like Irene up to 113 and you retire at 50 or 60, what are you doing with the rest with the 53 years 53 years that you have? So when somebody comes and say they are old, you ask them why, what is making you feel old? Of course, I'm not the same age as a baby. I'm not the same age as a 5-year-old or a 13-year-old or a teenager, or perhaps somebody who's 21, or, millennials or Gen Z and all that. There's that separation, but then you can't be too old for life. You just got to do what it is that perhaps not necessary to say suits your age, but what you can do with your age, so to speak. For example, with my organization, I'm trying to create future female leaders and is inspiring them into leadership. So that is what I have taken on. I know that from my experience, I can pass on this wisdom, I can pass on these talents, I can pass on these this knowledge and these skills to people that do not have them. So that way I've got something to give, even though I am at what somebody might call advanced age. So you can't be too old not to do anything. There is a lot of we know that the founder of KFC, he only founded KFC at the age of 65. And so at any time, any age in life, there's a new thing that you can do, because every day brings with it a new day. And in every new day, there's a new thing that you can do. And we learn something new every day from the people around us, from the environment around us, from the things and experiences that we experience each and every day.
Absolutely. It's that curiosity. And I just love your share about was it Irene who was 113?
Yes, she died at
Amazing.
113.
To me, absolutely. So I have a question for you, Dr. Justina, in reference to what you shared, and then we'll go to Caroline. So as people are living longer, and if they're not working and they are not from a wealthy inheritance, or how are people living and without any money? So if people are living, retired at a certain age, where's the money coming from? If they wanted to live, if their goal is to live to be 100 and they're out there, they've got to be doing something that produces income, unless, I don't know, they're finding it other ways. What are your thoughts about that? How do we sustain ourselves financially?
Yeah, as I think Caroline had mentioned before, and I've just talked about mentoring young people. There's so many new things keep changing and ways of making money keep changing. Before, we had to go to an office because the typewriter or computer was plugged in, the phone was plugged in the wall, and sometimes it was the only place you could find a phone. So we needed to go in there. But now there are so many ways in which people can make money. It doesn't matter how old you are. There is something on the internet called masterclass, and on that masterclass, you see all these world leaders. They come and give a masterclass in whatever it is that they are specialized in, and these are people who would be considered that they have already retired. I know, for example, Bill Clinton might not be the best example, but of course he's advanced in age, but he still comes out to give this master class. So they are, in whatever it is that people did, there are so many new things and new ways in which people are still making money that you can use from your experience, whatever it is, however you lived your life before, you can always find a way to use that to make money out of it.
Absolutely. All those decades of experience, you can,
Yes.
yeah, you can help educate others. Caroline, what would you like to share about what Dr. Justina just said?
Well, yes, I totally agree with you. I think the millennials and the Generation Z, they're definitely in that mindset of looking at other ways of earning income. But people that are from the silent generation and from earlier generations, the early boomers, I think that work was very much that you went to work, and if they didn't move with the times, then when they've retired, they're then on state benefits and state pension, and any pension that they created from their own saving while they were working. And so that this is very topical right now in the United Kingdom, because this is something that they're talking about a lot in terms of the age of pension being extended, as Dr. Justina mentioned, and also what additional benefits are being given. And so I think that certainly a lot of people from the silent generation, the older boomers that were born pre-64, are definitely of a tradition where they went to work unless they've moved with the times. And so there is a generation that does need to be supported by the state in whatever ways they can. And, that's not to say that some of the silent generation haven't done things to have moved, but that's not everybody. There's a very small selection of people that have moved with the times in terms of technology. And many people have suffered by the fact that they just missed retirement age in the UK because it was raised, so they've had to work longer. And that is the case for many people, that even though they are able to retire, that they've stayed in work to make ends meet. And my feeling on that is that the baby boomers, the last stage of the baby boomers was 1964, and I was the last of that generation, born in 64. And so the families then were plus 4 children. Prior to that, so prior to 64, from 64 and beyond that, before that, there were plus 4 children. But after that, there was either one, none, or 2 children. And so there are less children putting into the pension pot. This is very much a UK thing. And particularly, that's one of the reasons why there is a lot of people that are reaching retirement age at this point in the UK. And I believe that there's just not enough money to support the amount of people going into retirement, and so they're extending the age. And to finish on a better note, because that is all about, sort of the population and our generations, is that to keep you young is to move into the place of smiling. If you scowl or if you frown and if you're stressed, it actually uses more muscles, and so that ages you significantly. And so if you are one of the people's jokers or smilers, or you smile through your day, if you're doing things that you enjoy, it actually will extend your years and make you feel and look more youthful.
Thank you, Caroline. Dr. Justina, anything you'd like to share about what Caroline said?
Yes, I agree with Caroline about smiling more to be more youthful, because I think and also there's a saying that a positive thought first thing in the morning makes your day brighter. There's if you are carrying around with you these negative thoughts, it does show on your face, and then it also drains your spirit and makes you grow older quicker. So people that are always happy or know how to navigate the difficulties in life and still stay happy and jovial will look much younger, and they'll in a way even live longer. They do say that laughter is the best medicine. So yeah, I agree with Caroline on that.
Thank you very much. I want to share with each of you, we have a team member, Red O'Laughlin, and when I first met him, and I would say, how are you doing? Excellent as always. Excellent as always. And I thought, that's crazy. How could he? So I started practicing myself, and I forgot to do it until right now. But if I said to you, how are you doing? And you said, excellent as always, just try it. How do you feel?
Excellent as always.
Yes.
It makes you smile.
It just makes you smile. Always makes you smile. But I don't know whether I shared with you here that when I came from, when I just arrived in the UK and I started working, I'd get in the office in the morning, and whoever I meet as I'm going to get to my desk, I'd say, good morning, how are you today? Good morning, how are you today? And I'd be smiling. Then somebody said, why are you always saying good morning to people, and why are you asking them how are they? And why are you always smiling? And I thought, what have I done wrong here?
It is interesting. I know I go for a walk every day, and I say hello to people. Hello, hi. And they won't say anything. And I look and I go, oh, really? Like, you can't even say hello. But you can just see from their whole facial expression, there's something that's bringing them down, that they feel very heavy. Even the way you stand, if you're standing like this, hunched, as opposed to standing tall, I feel lighter already. I don't think the scale's going to show it, but I feel lighter just by standing. So as we close out this show, let's talk about some tips of what you do to stay youthful. And it can be something, Caroline, I know you're dancing around. I know you're meditating, but it can be something you're doing, something that you're reading, something that you're saying to yourself, something you're putting on yourself. Dr. Justina, what are you doing for that youthful glow inside and out?
I think I try as much as possible to have positive thoughts. When a negative thought is creeping in, I always say, oh, no, not this one. I always think of the good times. I always go out a lot whenever there's an opportunity for me to go out. I love to be among children and young people, and I learn from them. I look at the young people with curiosity and see what they are doing. Of course, they do things differently from the way we did them, so I learn those things. And of course, I love animals too. So I just love life. I make the most of life that is there to be had, and do everything that I need to do. I can't say one thing that I've stopped doing, really. I can go to the nightclub. If somebody invites me, I would go to the nightclub. I'd go to parties. I'd go to dinners. I'd go to lunches. I'd go to tea. I do all these things. And of course, I read a lot of books as well.
I want to see you at that nightclub. Are you going to be dancing on the tables? What's happening? You know, I was going through my phone. I have an Apple phone. Of course, the pictures get stored for, it seems like eternity. And I was going back to 2011 and on. And I thought, oh my gosh, I have had an incredible life. Like, I look at the places I've been, the people I've met, the things I've done. And I'm so grateful for that I put myself out there, and I'll be traveling soon and meeting the two of you in person. It'll be beautiful. So I think it's about putting yourself out there too, and being open to opportunities, as opposed to waiting for something to come for you. You go and get it. You make your own opportunities. Caroline, what are you doing? I can just picture you now with the dancing.
You know me too well. I had a really, really lovely friend who was a Tibetan monk and a lama. And I used to share with him some of the things that I got up to. And it was always a no holds barred conversation that we would share, never over, wine. We were sort of very sober. And one of the things that I shared with him was that sometimes when I just felt like it, I'd put my headset on and it'd be really loud and I'd be singing and dancing. And I'm going to get very honest here, because this is what I shared with him. This is with no clothes on. And I would just be singing along, and I didn't know how loud I sounded. And I was in my bedroom with my headset on, and it was an Apple headset with a small iPad. And I said that I would just have the time of my life. I would dance and sing for 3 to 4 hours. And he said something to me which I thought was really, really insightful. He smiled and he rolled his eyes and he said, when you get to the position and the place that you can dance on your own, like no one's watching, which they're not, and you are having a great time, you have finally found the way to live. Because it's not where you go externally, it's where you go internally. And if you can have that much joy and feel that much excitement and feel that blissed out and that amount of pleasure from being on your own and dancing like nobody's there and really having fun, as if you're in that nightclub but you are on your own, he said, this is ecstasy. This is the moment of inner joy. And he says, if you've reached that, you've done well. And I do dance a lot on my own, and I do sing a lot, and I do feel it's liberating, because I used to have to wait. I thought I'd have to wait to go out to a nightclub or to go out and party with friends. And so I was always waiting for that event, that place, that time. And now I feel everything's inside of me. I can still do the going out, but all of that bliss and that joyfulness is inside of me, and I don't have to go anywhere to feel that amount of joy and bliss out. And that's the thing that I will share with you. Don't wait. Have it, because it's all within you.
Caroline, that is fantastic. And by the way, we have a surprise for you, because when you were dancing, you were not alone. And we actually have a video clip. Let's take a look.
I'm being truthful here.
I love to put on Tina Turner, Simply the Best. And I just, Simply the Best. Yeah, I'm all over the place. I love that. I imagine I'm on the stage with her dancing, it makes you feel so happy.
With the air guitars and the air microphones.
I like to vacuum and do it too. It's fun. So we're actually at the end of this show. It's gone by so fast. So I'd love for each of you to leave the audience with something, whether it's how to get in touch with you, whether it's a final message, whether it's both. Let's go to Dr. Justina.
I think people should just live life, like, as they say, life's for the living. So make sure you laugh a lot, you dance a lot, you sing a lot, you eat a lot, you laugh a lot, because God loves you. And this life is for you to live to the fullest. You can find me, how to reach me. I already said at the beginning of the show, you can find me on all social media platforms at Justina MUTALE. And you can also Google me. Thank you.
Thank you. And Dr. Justina, on your social media posts, you're out there living. Like, I love it. You put life is for the living. It's such positive messages that you share. Thank you.
Thank you.
Caroline, how about you? What would you like to leave our audience with today?
My top tip, and it's one that is a secret that not many people are aware of, especially in our current times of coffee drinking, is to drink tons of water. Drink water, because we are, depending on research, between 60 to 90 parts water. Babies are 90 parts water. And when you drink water, your skin becomes very elastic and it stays youthful. And I don't drink coffee or any of those other drinks. I drink water, hot water and cold water. And it is improving the elasticity of my skin. So the skin becomes very youthful and stays youthful. You can reach me on nomorestress at live.co.uk, or call, if you're international, +44. If you're local, 07523 120 189. I'm also on LinkedIn. You can follow me and connect with me on LinkedIn and on Facebook. And I look forward to helping you bust your stress.
Thank you, Caroline. And I just want to leave with a comment. I watched an interview recently with Jerry Seinfeld, and he was being asked about, I think he turned 70, and what's changed in his life, and because he looks so happy and seems like everything's going well, because he said he no longer cares what other people think. He absolutely just listens to his own intuition, and he's not making decisions based on what people think about him. So I offer that up. Why don't we all just take the opportunity to say, I don't care what anyone thinks about me. I care how I feel about myself. Maybe if you believe in a higher power, and look at life that way instead of worrying about what everybody else thinks about you.
I so agree with you. Everybody else's life is taken. You've only got yours. So don't take anybody else's. It's so beautiful, because we do worry for a long time in our lives about what others think. And it's just not important. It's beautiful, a beautiful gift to share, to say it doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
Well, thank you to Jerry Seinfeld. And now we're going to go over to Mr. Philip Sykes and the Polished Professional, followed by Dr. Felix Kravitz, our sponsors for today's show. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, beautiful Caroline and beautiful Dr. Justina. We'll see you again soon. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye. Bye for now.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents our partner and sponsor, Mr. Philip Sykes and the British School of Excellence. Building confidence, changing lives. And now, proudly presenting the Polished Professional.
On a transformative journey with the British School of Excellence's comprehensive suite of masterclasses, crafted to elevate your professional and personal life. 8 outstanding modules will elevate you to the next level. Module 1, Exploring Life's Purpose, delves into the depths of self-discovery, guiding you to chart your unique path to fulfillment and success. Module 2, Mastering Professional Presence and Confidence. This masterclass is a deep dive into the art of self-assurance and commanding presence, which is essential for standing out in today's competitive landscape. Module 3, Learn the secrets of visual impact, how to curate a personal style that amplifies your professional brand. Module 4, Mastering Professional Etiquette and Communication Excellence, navigating the nuances of corporate interaction with grace and tact. Module 5, Elegance in Eloquence. We impart powerful techniques to captivate and persuade any audience with your oratory skills. Module 6, Unlock the potential of your emotional intelligence, EQ, and harness the ability to connect, empathize, and lead with emotional savvy. Module 7, Mastering DISC, building a gateway to understanding behavioral styles, fostering better personal and professional relationships. Module 8, Mastery in Dining Etiquette. building your confidence to perfect the subtleties of dining with finesse, enhancing your social savviness at any table. Step into the Polished Professional program where poise, elegance, and excellence aren't just taught, they're instilled for life. Join us to redefine your potential and polish your professional edge.
To learn more, go to thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. The British School of Excellence are investors in people. Let us invest in you.
We face daily cyber risks, spending over 7 hours of screen time, including 4.5 hours on mobile phones. This convenience comes with significant dangers, with cybercrime costs predicted to exceed $10.5 trillion by 2025. In 2023 alone, seniors lost over $3.4 billion to cybercrime. Our goal is to make social engineering concepts of cybersecurity easier to understand. We work with business teams, senior living facilities, investment companies, and educational institutions, both individually and in groups. We offer real-life examples to help you recognize and prevent attacks, with sessions available both in person, in selected regions, and remotely. Schedule your training session, or to learn more, contact us today. Call us at 847-845-9360. Email us at info@cybersecurityeasy.com. Protect your team and family with cybersecurityeasy.com.
My name is Dr. Felix Kravitz, and I am the founder of cybersecurityeasy.com, LLC. We live in a world full of vulnerabilities and cyber risks. We spend almost 4.5 hours a day on our mobile phones. It's over 7 hours of screen time daily when including computer use. We often forget that this convenience comes with risks. Published data predicts that the cost of cybercrime will exceed $10.5 trillion in 2025. These numbers encompass not only businesses, but also each one of us, including our children and our parents. In 2023, the FBI reported over $3.4 billion lost by seniors aged 60 and older. Cybersecurityeasy.com LLC's initiative is to massively support the community by providing cyber safety coaching and improving social engineering awareness. Our goal is to make social engineering concepts of cybersecurity easier to understand. We work with business teams, seniors, and educational institutions, both individually and in groups. We cover various topics, from phone phishing attacks to AI-generated voice cloning, robocalls, password protection, and more, using life examples. Talk to us today. Call us at 847-845-9360 or email us at info@cybersecurityeasy.com.